I am Professor Edward Blakely, talking about cities of the future that we can make today. How'd this start?
Well, this train we're on right now is been rehabilitated. It's a very old train, very old locomotive, wooden train. Locomotive's from 1943.
1943.
1943. People love these old carriages. They love being on steam trains. So the big issue is safety. They're an old train, old locomotive, old carriages. So it's very important.
As old as me?
Oh God, it's much older.
Oh, thank you. but why did this start? And who's in charge?
A group of enthusiasts who felt very interested in old steam trains. And so this group started before the war, and they have been very active in rehabilitating these carriages and the locomotive itself. Volunteers, all the people working on this train are volunteers, maybe the drivers paid, but otherwise volunteers who love heritage steam trains.
And this particular train, I understand, was bought by a 16-year-old.
The diesel locomotive pulling this train was bought by a young guy, 16 years of age, for about that sort of money. He spent $500,000 restoring it. It's in prime condition and very safe now. And so that diesel was helping the steam train down the mountains and going up, because the steam train alone would not have been able to pull these carriages.
All right, tell me a little bit about this too. So there's an assumption now that these will be tourism trains.
Correct.
And the tours will go from where to where?
Well, from Sydney up to the Blue Mountains, as we've done today, or to the Hunter, or to Mudgee, or has been suggested today by Mr. Masson over here, the ideal trip is short trip, say from Sydney to Brooklyn.
So that's a trip that tourists getting off boats and things can do within a 3-hour timeline.
Correct. And the ideal trip that Mr. Maston suggested was Sydney to Brooklyn, where we'd have lunch there on a boat on the Hawkesbury, or Sydney to Wollongong, then a hydrofoil back to the sea. The tourism benefits of the state are astronomical. For example, in Melbourne, the Puffing Billy, which operates in the Dandenongs, it is estimated raises $40 million a year for the state of Victoria.
Well, we can do better than that.
Correct. We estimate that if the 3801 Unlimited and all the other groups work together, there's $70 to $100 million a year can be generated for the state, not just for the rail organisation, but for tourism in the area to which we travel.
But there's another benefit. There are 3 young men sitting in the next carriage who help restore some trains. So there's a training opportunity here as well. Absolutely. They're not?
Absolutely. That's the big challenge, Ed, is to get young people involved. And I believe that we should be promoting the idea of you can actually drive a train, get them as a trainee fireman, get them on the locomotive. It's a lot of fun, I can tell you, when you're up at 80 kilometres an hour and bouncing along there with 100 tonnes of steel in front of you. It's a lot of fun. It gets the adrenaline pumping. So I think
and all the skills that are involved in repairing these trains, building them, organizing them, and then driving them. These are skills that are gone now.
Correct. And we're working on this. We've got to try and encourage more young people to come back into the sector, and that's going to happen. If we don't do it, well, there's no way of maintaining the expertise.
So there are really 3 motivations. One is historic.
Yes.
And so the trains could actually be in a museum for the history piece, but they're not. They're legal. The other is tourism. And the third is training and development.
Yeah. And the fourth is enjoyment.
Enjoyment, having a lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
People in this carrying trains.
Which we all had today.
Australia. It's part of our past, and it can very well shape our future. Thank you. Hope to see you again and another adventure on Blakely City Talk.